Okay, we get it. A camera rig with all the bells and whistles, all the latest accessories looks really cool, and it might even get you some Instagram likes, but you don't always need to shoot on a heavy camera rig. I've gone ahead and put my rig on a diet and came up with my minimalist run and gun setup for the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4K. The reason I decided to build this rig was after seeing my buddy Goldwolf's video on his minimalist rig for the Pocket 4K, and I decided to go ahead and shave some weight off of my rig to see if I can get it to a point where it's a little bit more suitable for run and gun footage. When building this rig, I had 4 key factors. The first factor being weight, the second being power, and the third being stability, and the fourth being flexibility. To power the rig, I decided to go with the Core SWX power base. Now, the reason I went with the Core SWX power base over something like an NPF battery is the fact that the SWX power base will power both the monitor and the camera for over 2 hours. Now, that is at 100% screen brightness for both the camera and the monitor. Thanks to the 2 DTAP power outputs on the power base, I could power both the camera and the monitor via one battery without the use of a splitter. Another reason why I went with the Core SWX power base here is the fact that if needed, I can quickly and easily remove the battery from the whole cage setup and run with just the cage and the camera if needed. For the cage system, I decided to go with the small rig half cage. Now, the reason I did this is to save a little bit of weight, especially since I don't necessarily use most of the mounting points on the right side of the full cage. I don't lose any of the mounting points that I use on the left, and I also still have the NATO rail on top of the cage. One thing you might see missing here is a solid state drive. In this case, I am recording to a CFast card inside of the camera. Now, there are a few reasons for this. One of them being weight. I don't have to add the SSD holder. I don't have to add any additional cables, but it's also for safety. When I'm shooting run and gun, I'm moving around pretty quickly. I'm not necessarily staying in one place. By using a CFast card, this completely eliminates the risk of a cable coming loose from the SSD. CFast cards are obviously more expensive than the solid state drives for this camera. However, losing your footage will cost a lot more than just one CFast card. When it comes to the monitor setup, I chose to go with the Adamus Shinobi monitor. This is a very lightweight monitor, it's very well built, and of course it has the amazing monitoring tools that Adamus is known for. If you've watched the video for my main rig, you may be familiar with this monitor setup. I'm using a small rig handle with a NATO rail, as well as the small rig monitor holder, which has a 1/4-20 on one side and a NATO rail on the other. Another carryover from my main rig is the Adamus Sun Hood for the Ninja V. This allows me to work in direct sunlight without having to deal with glare on the screen. For the lens, I decided to go with the Lumix 12-35mm lens. This is a native micro four thirds lens, so it's gonna keep weight down by not having to add a speed booster. Plus, it's a pretty lightweight lens to begin with. It's also a stabilized lens, which is gonna help to get smoother handheld footage. Now, seeing as all of my circular filters are 77mm diameter, I decided to go with the 58 to 77mm step-up ring. This allows me to use all of my 77mm filters, such as my variable ND, my black Pro Mist, or my CPL filter on this lens. If I have to switch lenses, I'm not stuck with having to bring a whole bunch of different size filters. I just have to bring one size filter and use them on different lenses. Now, even though I'm using a stabilized lens, I do want to add a third point of contact, so I do so by adding a neck strap. Now, I don't remember exactly where I got this neck strap from. I do think it came as one of those freebies in my kit when I bought my GH5 years ago. This thing has been sitting in a closet for years, and I haven't really found a use for it until now. The neck strap serves 2 functions. The first being it removes some of the strain and weight off of your shoulders and arms. The second being the fact that it adds a third point of contact, allowing you to get some more stable footage. Especially when filming handheld, you want that third point of contact to give you some smoother shots. All right, guys, that wraps it up. There aren't too many parts to this rig. Everything I did use to build the rig, I'm gonna put a link in the description below. Also, guys, if you are looking for more content on the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4K or 6K, definitely subscribe to the channel so you can get notified of when I drop new videos. Until next time, take care.